Good evening, everyone. Tonight we are going to have a look at Site IPsec VPNs, and we'll be configuring it on Cisco iOS devices, and I'll be showing you some of the configuration and looking at creating templates and how to implement it. Let's get started. Okay, so now that we are here, I always advise doing these kind of things first in a notepad somewhere. Get your configuration ready before you actually apply it onto a live environment, because usually when you do these kind of things in real life, it will be on your network gateway, and should anything go wrong, you could possibly actually bring down your entire network depending on how things are configured. So let's get started with the IPsec policies. So we are now looking at the phase 1 policy, and down here we've got the phase 2 policy. Phase 1 is used for the key exchange, and phase 2 is the actual exchange and encryption of the data traffic that you're sending across your VPN. So let's have a look at these commands, which are actually quite important. Please remember to always mirror these configuration. There's really very little fault tolerance into this. Your keys need to match, your encryption needs to match. It's not a big deal depending from device to device. Your lifetime that you have on your exchanges, but your encryption, your peering IPs, and your keys, your pre-shared keys, everything needs to match, mirror on both sides. Otherwise your negotiations aren't going to work. They're not going to recognize each other. So let's have a look here. Here we've got crypto IPsec policy. You're stating the policy and you're going to give it a number. Think about your numbering, because you might later on implement more policies as you are maybe branching out to more branches of your own company, or peering with vendors or service providers of some sort. So here we've got policy 1 and we've got policy 1 over here. These might be different, really, it doesn't matter that much. However, which is important are these parts over here. SHA needs to match your pre-shared key, which is the one down here referenced. That is referenced together using your group to your lifetime, and your encryption that you're using for exchanging the keys is 3 days. Okay, so down here we've got your IPsec key. This is the key that will be exchanged between within the first phase of the tunnel. These are the keys that will be used to basically establish the phase 2 of the tunnel. And here you've got your peering IP address. So I know that this is RFC 19 private IP address, but in our scenario tonight, the 10 range would be used for a virtual external network. So let's quickly have a look on our network over here. 10.1.2.1, which is referenced over there, and then we've got 10.1.1.1, which is referenced over there on fast Ethernet 0x0 and fast Ethernet 0x1. So let's have a look at the second phase. So crypto IPsec transform set, we're going to give it a name of my set. This will be referenced down here, is set transform set to my set. So we'll be using ESP AES 128-bit. It is preferred to use higher 256, but in our scenario we're using 128. It's just easier, especially because it's a virtual environment. We'll just be using that. So we're using ESP MD5 HMAC as well for hashing, and then of course yes, the security association lifetime will be 3,600 seconds. Once the phase 1 and phase 2 tunnels have been built, you need to specify interesting traffic that should be identified to be sent across your network, across the tunnel that you are now building. So it uses normal access lists to basically identify traffic. You can specify quite accurately what kind of traffic you want to send across your tunnel. So here we've got the access list, and we are using extended access list, and we're giving it a name of VPN traffic. So here we're saying permit IP. This is our internal network, and this is our internal network on the branch side. As you can see here, we're doing the opposite. So here I know that I'm saying permit IP. This means all IP traffic, TCP and UDP traffic, will be allowed over this tunnel coming from this source. If you really want to, you can say TCP this source to that destination on whatever port, like let's say port 80, which is HTTP, and then we can say all other traffic to be excluded from the VPN tunnel. But in this case, we're saying all IP traffic going across. So then you need to configure a crypto map. The crypto map, this would be the IPsec Site to Site VPN. This is a name, and we're saying here that it's IPsec ISA Kemp, and we're going to match the addresses that is the VPN traffic. So we're going to match whatever is in this access list here. Because you created an access list, now you're binding it to this over here. Then you're going to say set it to peer, which is your remote IP address of your peer over here. Let's get back here, and then you're going to set transform set my set. So this is the my set that we specified over here. And we're going to exit, and then we need to apply the crypto map to the outgoing interface. So the interface would be fast Ethernet 0x0, and we're saying crypto map IPsec site to site VPN, and we're going to apply that. Now on the configuration, what I've done is I've copied it as is. I actually used this one piece by piece. So by default you want to first copy that, then you copy your second phase, then you copy your access list that you created, and you do piece by piece, you start pasting it in. So once you've got it in and everything is set up, and you try and ping across, what we can do is we can ping across like that, and then we can say ping 192.168.1.1, and we can source it from this interface over here. So we're telling it that the source traffic should be from this IP address here, so that it actually gets forced over the VPN tunnel. And you can see we are successful over there. So let's have a look a little bit deeper into our configuration here. So to confirm that the phase 1 and phase 2 tunnels are up, we can use the commands show crypto ISA Kemp Security Association, which is SA. You can see over here Security Association, so we're just going to say SA. We can say our destination IP address and our source interface on this side, and we can see that it is active. So phase 1 tunnel is up. Let's have a look at phase 2. Now this is where it gets interesting. Also Security Association. Let's bump this one out, and we're going to say show crypto IPsec Security Association. Okay, so up here we've got encapsulation packets, packets encrypted, destination, so we've got everything there. It's 15, and we've got 15 over here, so we can really do confirm that 15 packets has left the one side and arrived at the other side as well, and vice versa, depending on where from you really ping at any given time. So like that, and then we can go back to the association, and now we can see that this has gone up to 25, and do it again over here. Okay, so there's our interface, there's our 25 packets. So you can see that phase 1 and phase 2 of the tunnels have been established. There are a few other things. If you see that your phase 1 tunnel is not coming up, IPsec SA, if you don't see anything regarding the destination source, this is not coming up. Simply run the debug crypto IPsec command. This will show you basically exactly the error messages will pop up, and they'll basically say like there has been a key mismatch, or something in the configuration will actually specify exactly in the configuration or what is not working correctly. If you do find something and it's not working the way that it's supposed to, and you're not quite sure, simply take the error message and put it into Google. I'm sure that somewhere on the internet there is someone that previously did have a very similar problem. No debug all. Just want to turn off the debugging. So there will always be someone with these VPNs that has had a similar issue as your issue that you're probably experiencing, and you can troubleshoot and figure it out that way. If phase 1 is coming up but phase 2 is not working and you're unable to send data across, once again just go debug crypto IPsec, and you can basically just hit enter from there, and you'll get your error messages as the traffic is being sent across. I don't think anything will be there because the association has already been established in any case. So once again, those error messages will help you in troubleshooting should there be anything wrong. Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I would first try and practice this in a lab environment, especially if you haven't done it before you try and do it on a live system. And guys, please always, guys and girls, remember, rather put your configuration in a notepad first, put it side by side. If you're doing it with a client or a vendor and they also need to build the VPN on their side, make sure that you guys get together on a WebEx or a Skype for Business call, share your screen, share what your IPsec policies and your IPsec policies are going to be, how it is set up. Because if you are using AES 128 on this side and they're using AES 256 on their side, it's not going to work. If anything is off by a millimeter, it will not work. And your debug messages will tell you that as well. So guys, I hope that this has been informative and that you guys liked it. Please like, subscribe and share these videos. I'll be trying to post more videos more often. I do apologize, it hasn't been as frequent as what I would have liked it to be. But yeah, life does get in the way and I do try and post when possible. Have a nice evening.